Going on to all my Geminis. So you have the Two of Swords, the Knight of Wands, Four of Pentacles, Tower, Three of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Judgment, the Strength, the Hanged Man, and the Seven of Cups. So, for you Geminis, a lot of you Geminis may be very stubborn right now because you have the mentality that you have to, that you're stuck, that you have to remain in one place as far as relationally, right? Relationally. So some of you Geminis may think that you're stuck in a relationship, even though you want to get out of it, even though you don't want to be with a particular person. Some of you Geminis may even have not necessarily, you're not even physically with the person, right? The Tower. You're not even necessarily physically with the person, but you let them know that you don't want to be with them. And yet somehow you're still connected with them. The Three of Cups. Ooh, the Three of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Judgment, the Strength. But for now, let's slow it down. Three of Cups, the Queen of Wands. You try to get to know somebody else, and this person is always being on your case, meaning one of the people that you used to talk to, right, that you don't want to be with, that you told that you don't want to be with, they're still calling you, still texting you, trying to find out, trying to keep tabs on you, where you've been, unwilling to let you go. Seems to me as if a lot of you Geminis are looking for a way to get this person to understand that you don't want to get to know them any longer, that you don't want to be in a relationship with them. The answer is very simplistic, or it's direct. The best way for you to do that, my Geminis, is for you to stop talking to them. You actively, whether it is that you know it or not, allow these people to be in your life. The reason why it is I'm saying that is because, remember, you and Sagittarius have that in common, that y'all will get people out of your life, but at the same time, you'll still contact those people to ask them certain questions. No. If you want somebody out of your life, truly, then have those people out of your life, period. Don't go back to these people, text them, call them, do any of that type of stuff. What you're supposed to be doing is looking ahead and moving forward. What you do, okay, when the calls, the text messages start, is that you Geminis completely ignore them. Block them for all I care, right? And you don't reply to anything or interact to anything that they've got going on at all. If you have little ones with these people, if you share custody, then do what it is that you need to do. But other than that, that's a dub, period, after that. Because you coming in and out, trying to ask these people questions, this, that, the third, responding to text messages, regardless of whether it is that you Geminis know it or not, that's exactly what it is that you're doing. You're responding. You're not interacting. Interaction is when you have control over your own self, and you could choose to opt out or opt in, right? A lot of you Geminis, are responding, meaning that you are actually reacting instead of interacting, right? You're reacting to the influence of the other person contacting you. The Judgment and the Strength, and if you're asking when this person is going to leave you alone, they're not going to leave you alone. They're going to forever try to have their strings attached to you, because that's how it is. A lot of people play games. Once they've dated you, right? Some people play like that. Not everybody plays like that, in varying degrees, right? Okay, I'm not going to say every last person, because it has varying degrees and different tricks. So the way that some people play is the way that you unfortunately had to find out. Some people play from the interaction of, once it is that they've dated you, now you're theirs forever. They can make a claim to you forever. And that's not the case. So you Geminis have to essentially stand up for yourselves, right? By moving ahead, by not allowing these people to constantly pull you on a string, to not allow them to come over and try to create chaos, right? Coming over, throwing your stuff around, breaking all your stuff, trying to inconvenience you money and all this other type of stuff, trying to get you into an argument and all this other type of stuff. The Hangman and the Seven of Cups now represents, as a result, the Hangman, okay, and the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups represents, whenever it is that I get sevens, the Sevens of Cups, the Seven of Swords, the Seven of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles. This is more so about you Geminis have to learn how to choose people better, okay? That's what the Seven of Cups represents. You have to learn to choose people better. And how you do that is the same way that I suggest everybody else learn to choose better. You have to pay attention to how, I thought that was my family coming in, but you have to pay attention to how other people or people in general play games. Once you understand what you should be looking out for, you'll have a better idea on how to scan the situation to see if people are plotting anything on you. Because when it comes to the games, once you've learned the games and how the games go, you pretty much learn the games, because people are repetitive, right? People are the cookie cutter, right? For the most part, they don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. They're cookie cutter. Once you learn game and you get a grasp on understanding how people run game on others, try to play games, their delusion, then you begin to understand the layers. Then after you understand the layers, you're able to understand that, oh, this is the same tactics. It's just coded or masked differently given the particular situation. And you're right in thinking that, because it's the same way that I'm able to, see who's trying to run game on me, even in my own life. It's easy because these people are so goofy. They don't seem to understand that they're not doing anything new. Once you've seen the games before, it's much harder. It is. This is why it is that in one of my the videos that I did a few weeks ago, I think it was 1 or 2 weeks ago, I talked about the games and why people need to stop playing games is because once you've learned those tactics, and you've become acquainted with it enough, and everyone should, because we've all experienced 101 of those tactics, because there's only 101 tactics that you're seeing throughout your entire life when people are running game on you. Once you've seen all 101 of those tactics and you've become acquainted with these tactics enough, it's going to be much harder, like exponentially harder for people to run game on you, because you're so well adjusted to when people are running games and what they look like and the overall essence of it. You're going to just completely choose to be non-cooperative. You're not going to cooperate at all, and uncooperative. And the thing is that the Hanged Man represents, but at the same time, you have to learn that you are justified in this idea that you have of, maybe it's time for you to take a step back. Now, I'm not saying that you Gemini should do that. It's not necessarily that extreme for you. But what I'm trying to say is that the problem that you are having is learning game, right? You don't learn game to run game on other people. You learn game to understand when you should leave the situation because the person is playing a game. So if you're looking for love, you're not going to find love with a person who's running game, because they're too delusional. They're out of it. They're too gone. They're lost. This is what it is that the dating coaches are not telling you. The dating coaches, they got it. They're inverted it. They've got it to a point, right? Let's clarify. Let's prove my point. Let's clarify the strength. They've got it to a point where they're thinking about learning games so you can use it on other people. Well, why would you do that? Making the dating pool even worse, because that's the majority of what the dating pool is. People who are running game on people. And a lot of times people who run game on people meet people who run game on people. So what do? They run game on each other, and it doesn't end well, and the relationship doesn't last very long. So it's not anything that's useful, because it doesn't last long. It's not a fruitful, long-lasting relationship, nirvanic or nirvana-like relationship. It's not. Let's clarify the strength. So to clarify the strength, we have the Five of Cups, Four of Wands, King of Cups, the Magician. Right. So this is a situation for you where you got to understand that you have the Five of Cups, the Four of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Magician. So the Five of Cups represents, yes, if you're asking about if these people feel bad, they feel bad to a certain extent, but they only feel bad because you caught them, and because they thought that they were too smooth. The Four of Wands represents this ideology of them creating a house or a home with you. They may want that, but more than likely, they're never going to be functional enough for you to just be in a relationship with them. The King of Cups and the Magician is about how, since this is the case, you have to set your own standards for yourself and understand what your standards represent. A lot of people, part of the problem that you Geminis are having is that a lot of you Geminis are not setting a standard for yourself like that. And then the Magician now represents, you have to accept responsibility by setting a standard for, I'm just a little bit clogged up, I'll get some water. But you have to set a standard for yourself where you understand, you create your own code of conduct, right? Your own code of conduct given the particular situation. So what you should do, if a person is running game on you, who says that you have to participate? You know, if you're finding value within this reading, then it means it's time for you to come get a personal reading from me. There's a link in the comment section called the link tree. Click on it. It'll redirect you to all of my social media outlets, from the books that I have that are on Amazon, my Instagram page, okay, my clothing store, as well as if you want a private tarot reading, click on it. It'll redirect you to my website, in which it has how much I charge, how much time you're getting, a description. It has buy now button that when you click on it, it'll go to my PayPal. If you don't want to pay me through PayPal, my Cashapp cash tag is over it, as well as I have an Apple Pay. And you can always feel free to email me at Kareemspiritworks@yahoo.com if you were to, if you want to get a reading from me and you don't necessarily know how I'll help you out with that. But let's clarify now the Hanged Man. Right? And then not only that too, but I also want to say, right, that the Magician represents Mercury. So, it represents how you have to understand that, the Magician represents a couple of things. The Magician represents Pluto, Saturn, Mercury. It also represents Mars as well. Yes, it represents Mars as well. Because you have to take into consideration that this is about ownership. This is about you embodying those standards, those principles. You have to set a standard for yourself. What is your standard going to be? Well, that's up to you. But let's clarify the Hanged Man. Because if you don't set a standard, it's going to be much more difficult for you. So to clarify the Hanged Man, we have the King of Pentacles, Three of Wands, the Chariot, right? The Hierophant, right? So again, so the King of Pentacles, Three of Wands, you should be at this point, as you learn and you grow, you should be learning how to let go of the dysfunctional people that you come across, because that's just a part of the dating process, right? Now that a lot of y'all understand how dysfunctional a lot of people can be, now this is about teaching y'all how to learn to let go from dysfunctional individuals. Gotta learn to let go, right? Gotta learn to let go. And I know it's gonna be difficult, but the next stage is for all of the zodiac signs to stop holding on to grudges. You know, the Chariot and the Hierophant represent, because you're going to be fighting with yourself internally if you don't learn to, and people that will potentially show you interest in the future, if you don't learn to detox yourself from all of the dysfunctional relationships. But that's pretty much it so far. To end it on a good note, to end it on a high note, a lot of you Geminis are learning, but you just have to learn that you have to set a standard for yourself, right? What is going to be your code of conduct? And that's where the power is. Because once you set your own code of conduct, if people go radically outside that code of conduct, and you observe that these people don't even have any kind of decency, right? You set the culture with yourself of how you're going to act. Then you can gauge, or you can look at or measure if these people are like you, and if these people can essentially build a relationship with you. But that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. I'm trying to make my YouTube channel grow to 10,000 subscribers by the end of June. As of right now, we're coming up on 5,600. We have 5,520 some odd. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, and set that notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop these videos.